Welcome. I'm Tisarai Johnson, and today I'll be exploring how human-centered leadership can sustain empathy within law firms as artificial intelligence becomes an integral part of the annual performance review process. For more than 3 decades in the legal profession, I've watched the world shift from handwritten files and casebooks to cloud-based analytics, and now algorithms that evaluate our work. The question isn't whether AI will transform performance management. It already has done so. The real question is how leaders can preserve humanity, fairness, and trust while using it. This presentation examines what happens when we combine the precision of data with the power of empathy, and how law firm leaders can build systems that honor both. Before we dive in, here's a quick roadmap of where we're headed. This presentation unfolds like a case study in transformation, exploring how leadership, law, and technology intersects in today's digital workplace. We'll start with the evaluation algorithm, the story of how AI quietly entered the law firm review process and reshaped what fairness means. Then we'll walk you through the research focus and hypothesis, explaining how data precision can coexist with empathy, while examine why this research matters. To lead your culture, explore key literacy, insights, and methodology, and provide actionable recommendations and a global snapshot that reveals how other nations balance ethics with innovation. Finally, I'll share reflections and takeaways designed to remind us that progress is not about replacing people. It's about guiding technology through them. Imagine opening your annual review and realizing it wasn't written by your managing partner, but by an algorithm. It tracked your billable hours, document drafts, and client outcomes, yet missed the late night mentoring you offered to a junior associate or the calm you brought to a nervous client before trial. Artificial intelligence is quietly reshaping the language of fairness in law firms. It promises objectivity and speed, but what it cannot measure are the human moments that define true leadership, characterized by empathy, patience, collaboration, and sound judgment. I call this tension the evaluation algorithm, the intersections where efficiency meets emotions. And this is where leadership becomes more than a skill set. It becomes a moral compass, because even the most advanced algorithm still depends on the heart behind the human who designed it. This study explores how law firm leaders can preserve fairness, trust, and transparency while integrating AI into annual performance reviews. At its core, the research asks, can technology and empathy coexist in the evaluation process? The hypothesis is that firms that pair human-centered leadership with AI assist systems will see higher employee trust, stronger transparency, and improve retention compared to firms that rely solely on animated reviews. In practice, this means leadership must act not as data analysis, but as interpreters, reading beyond the numbers to understand the people behind them. Because in the future of work, empathy isn't a soft skill. It's a strategic advantage. Artificial intelligence is transforming how legal organizations measure performance. In law firms, the stakes are high. Data accuracy must coexist with confidentiality, ethics, and emotion. This research matters because while AI improves efficiency, it risks eroding the relationships that sustain a firm's culture, including mentorship, trust, and belonging. Leadership grounded in empathy prevents technology from redefining people as data points. It ensures not just in metrics, but in meaning. The greatest challenge of modernization is the adoption, its preservation, how to embrace intervention without losing the human connection that defines the practice of law. In every algorithm and analysis, there's a moral question quietly asking, do we still see the person behind the performance? Research continues to reveal a tension between intervention and connection. Bach and colleagues found that while AI strengthens accuracy and speed, it can also weaken the sense of trust between leaders and employees. Cascio reminds us that digital transformation isn't just technical, it is also emotional. Leaders must learn to read data with empathy, understanding that numbers alone don't tell the full story. And Deloitte Human Capital Trends report shows that the organizations thriving through animation are those where empathy is actively practiced, not just preached. Collectively, the literature points to one consistent truth. Technology succeeds only when leadership remains deeply humanized. Law firms are unique environments where ethics, confidentiality, and integrity are not optional. They are the foundation of practice. As artificial intelligence becomes part of the evaluation process, new risks emerge. Bias hidden in algorithms can distort fairness. A misread billing trend or data could unfairly influence how an attorney's performance is perceived. There aren't just technical errors, they're ethical red flags. Leadership must ensure that AI is used as a tool for insight, not as a weapon of judgment. True ethical oversight in the digital age means maintaining both professional integrity and human dignity, ensuring that technology supports justice rather than undermines it. To explore the intersection of leadership, empathy, and artificial intelligence, this study employed a mixed methods design, combining quantitative and qualitative approaches. The quantitative phase involved conducting surveys to measure employees' perceptions of fairness, transparency, and empathy in AI assistant performance reviews. The qualitative phase involved interviews with HR directors, partners, and attorneys to uncover the lived experiences and emotional responses underlying the data. Correlational analysis using Pearson's R tested the relationship between leadership empathy and perceived review fairness. This dual approach ensures that the findings capture not just what can be measured, but also what can be felt. Blending data and human experiences into a balanced understanding of ethical leadership in the digital age. The data revealed a clear pattern, one that connects empathy directly to the performance of outcomes. Law firms where leaders balance data-driven reviews with personal feedback reported the highest scores for trust and transparency. Employees described those reviews as fair, thorough, and human. Interestingly, while AI increased consistency, it was the human conversation that determined how that data was received. People wanted to know that their efforts, not just their numbers, was seen. The firms that did this well experienced improved retention and engagement. The takeaway: empathy doesn't slow productivity, it strengthens it. When empathy and analytics coexist, data becomes a mirror for fairness, not a measure of worth. Every leader needs direction, especially in a world led by algorithms. That's why I developed the Human-Centered Leadership Compass, a framework centered on 4 key points: ethics, empathy, efficiency, and equity. These principles ensure that technology remains aligned with human values. Ethics ensures integrity. Empathy reminds us to see the person behind the data. Efficiency keeps organizations aligned. And equity guarantees fairness across every evaluation. When leaders follow this compass, they don't abandon technology, they guide it. Because progress without ethics is automation. But progress with empathy, now that's leadership. Recommendations. The goal of this research was never just to analyze data, but to transform leadership practice. Based on the findings, several key recommendations emerged from law firm leaders who have integrated AI into their performance management systems. First, embedded empathy and ethics training into leadership development programs to ensure technology is used responsibly. Second, design transparent AI dashboards so employees can understand how evaluations are generated and can ask informed questions. Third, broaden your evaluation matrix. Include not only productivity, but also mentorship, collaboration, and community contribution, which are the very behaviors that sustain firm culture. Fourth, establish quarterly AI ethic reviews that bring HR, IT, and leadership together to maintain accountability. Finally, treat AI as an assistant, not an authority. Data should inform human judgment, never, never to replace it. Artificial intelligence is not just changing workplaces, it's reshaping them differently around the world. In the United States, law firms are driven by compliance, measurable results, and client-centered accountability. The focus on what gets done and how efficiently. The United Kingdom brings a slightly different approach, one that emphasizes procedural fairness and transparency. Here, leadership is measured by clarity and due process. Now, in Japan, the model is more collective. Harmony and trust guide technology adoption. Decisions are made with respect for balance and long-term relationships. Yet across all regions, one truth emerges. Regardless of the language, policy, or culture, the foundation of ethical leadership remains the same. AI may guide the process, but people define the purpose. Before we move into the final section, let's pause a little bit. Take a moment to think about the last time someone truly saw your effort. Not your output, but your intent. Maybe it was a mentor who stayed late to guide you through a complex file, or a colleague who noticed your quiet contribution during a long case. Those are moments algorithms can't quantify, yet they define the soul of any organization. Reflection reminds us that leadership isn't found in data points. It's found in awareness, in the ability to notice, to empathize, and to honor the unseen work that keeps teams connected. When leaders pause to reflect, they don't slow progress, they humanize it. As we conclude, one truth stands out. Technology does not lead. People do. Artificial intelligence has given us new ways to measure, analyze, and predict, but it cannot feel, interpret, or inspire. That remains the responsibility and the privilege of leadership. Empathy preserves trust in data-driven systems. Algorithms don't create fairness. It's sustained by people who care enough to see beyond the numbers. When leaders pair the precision of AI with the compassion of humanity, they don't just modernize the review process. They elevate it. The future of performance management will not be built slowly by machines. It will be guided by people who understand that the most advanced form of intelligence is still empathy. Human-centered leadership is more than a management style. It's a moral commitment. It's the bridge between the precision of data and the compassion of people. As artificial intelligence continues to transform law and performance management, leaders face a choice: to let technology lead us or to lead technology through us. The difference lies in empathy, the quiet force that sustains truth, collaboration, and growth. Algorithms will not define the future of AI and law, but by the leaders who shape them with ethics, vision, and care. And as we look ahead, may we remember, beyond every data point is a person who potentially can't be calculated, only cultivated. These references form the foundation of this research, drawn from peer-reviewed and professional sources published between 2022 and 2025. Each one contribute to the understanding how empathy, ethics, and AI intersects within the realms of leadership and law. Thank you for listening, class, and I appreciate any questions that you might have. Feel free to contact me.